Some parents think the most dangerous part of their children's school day is actually getting to and from school because that's where they face the possibility of fights.
Yeah, we've told you over the past 2 years about increases in fights, bad behavior, and TikTok challenges that experts say is a result of COVID.
Ahead of the new school year, Fox 23's Tanya Motor-Zitsky is checking in to see how districts are trying to mitigate fights and other bad behavior in schools.
Over the past 2 years, I've told you how kids say they're being bullied more than ever.
An apple thrown at my head, and I've had like tacks thrown at my neck.
The upticking violence in schools.
They said if you don't stop messing with me, I'm gonna stab you with this knife.
And the influences TikTok has had that caused vandalism in schools. Or unfortunate situations that take someone's life.
And I'm not sure what we got going on here, but
Like the shooting during a McLean football game last October. These increased behaviors caused teachers to leave.
It had gotten to the point this year where it was like, I just can't do this any longer. It's too much.
Clinical psychologists told me last spring the reason for increased behavioral issues is because of COVID.
What's it like to behave? How am I supposed to behave?
I've showed you alarming fights happening in schools like at East Central Middle School, where a student stabbed in the forehead during a fight at Union's 8th grade center. Districts like Broken Arrow say they're seeing more fights, and with the elementary kids, the issues have always been there, it just increased.
We've seen a real big uptick in anxiety, and with that, kids' perceptions of other and what they think of each other and how that impacts them. I was looking at our data the other day, and some school sites have had a few more fights than they did last year. Other sites had less. So it depends on the makeup of the students, the culture of that school, how they're addressing them.
That's Derek Blackburn with BAPS. He says he's seeing a lot of repeat offenders.
They're angry at whatever their situation is, either at home or what's going on at school. So there's multiple things that play and come into play of that.
He says staff are doing all they can to help students relieve their anxiety and work through problems.
Even if we suspend a student for multiple days, they're still coming back. Those two kids are still going to be in that school. So how do you work to rectify whatever has taken place and also make sure that you've given an appropriate consequence?
Times are different due to technology and everyone having a phone. He says another problem is filming fights and it going to social media.
Social media is not a kid's friend.
BAPS is cracking down on those filming fights too.
Now you're an active participant.
To prevent bullying or escalating the situation.
Typically they're pushing it out just to say, hey, these two kids got into a fight. But then now kids can use that against either one of those kids.
In Owasso, Paul Croft with the District Safety and Security, he says they're seeing stagnant numbers in violence.
We haven't seen an uptick in any fights or anything of that nature in our buildings. It's been kind of, your typical fight here or there.
However, they are encouraging if you see something, say something.
On our district website, you can go on there and there's a place where you can go to the safety security page, or there's a couple other places where you can find a place to report if something's going on.
Districts like Owasso and BAPS do have apps and text numbers in place you can reach out to report a problem or potential bullying. Districts say it's a team effort to reduce violence and keep everyone safe. Covering news that matters, I'm Tanya Motor-Zitsky, Fox 23 News.